Hello, good to see that you have completed the course so far and that you've almost reached the end of this course. In this video we will discuss the main conclusions of the course to give an overview of the subjects we have discussed over the last 4 weeks.
As you will remember, the first topic we discussed was the concept of open science and how open science can benefit you as a researcher. We categorized the advantages of being an open researcher into 3 categories. There are practical advantages that will help you directly in your academic career. And as we have seen, publishing research work openly can significantly increase the exposure of that research and have a positive influence on your research impact. There's also a good chance you will reach a much broader audience when sharing your work openly. It can therefore also strengthen the quality of your work.
So, Michiel, would you then say that being an open researcher is primarily something you do for yourself then?
Not at all. There are also advantages that can be categorized as good science. Operating as an open researcher creates transparency and enables others to easily perform reproduction and replication studies of your work. And there's a category of advantages that does not directly affect you personally, but that will improve the scientific system as a whole. By increasing the amount of scientific research that is published openly, the costs of producing and gaining access to scientific output will decrease for industrial companies, research institutions, and academic institutions. So, Anneke, maybe you could give us a recap of week 2 of the course.
Yeah, sure. In the second week of this course, we helped you to make your first steps towards effective research data management and to get a grip on the different issues and elements that play a role. We discussed that in order to adhere to the FAIR data principles, you need to manage your data effectively. Especially if you are the main responsible for a research project, there are many things to think about. First, you need to be aware of the nature of the data that you'll be collecting. And moreover, you need to think about how you can safely store and back up the data and how you will document your data in such a way so that others can understand and reuse it. And furthermore, who should be able to access the data? With whom you will share it, who can manipulate it, and how will you preserve and archive your data. So to conclude, you need to be a multitasker and have skills related to each of these data management activities.
So this means that you have to think about the steps of effective research data management even before you have actually started the research?
Exactly. So, moreover, if you are collaborating with others in your project, you need to have their agreement concerning the data management plan.
Thank you, Anneke. So, Nicole, you discussed the subject of open access publishing in week 3 of the course. Could you describe the main takeaways from this week?
Yes, of course. The third week of the course was dedicated to open access publishing. We helped you to understand the open publishing landscape with the diamond, gold and green roads. We discussed the advantages of open access publishing and we have invalidated various misconceptions about it. We also explained copyright differences between open access journals and subscription-based journals.
But you did not just discuss how to publish open access, right? How about where to publish?
Yes, we have provided you with some tools to be able to make well-considered choices of journals for the next publication and how make sure it will be accessible for everyone. By following these steps, you will reach a greater audience and gain more impact.
Finally, we would like to thank you for your active participation in the course.
And we hope you enjoyed the course, that you are convinced of open science.
And that you have become an open researcher.